ladies and gentlemen, to the BFNL Netball Show. Back a lot earlier this week as well. We just snuck it in on Friday afternoon last week. So good to be back much earlier this week so we can bring you all of the information about the Ballarat Football Netball Leagues, A Grade Netball, and of course, netball in general throughout the BFL. Sean Kelly's my name. Joining me as always, Kim Bailey, the Operations Manager of the netball side of AFL Goldfields. Kimmy, welcome.
Thanks, Shawnee. Nice to be back, nice and early. You'll be able to see us a bit quicker this week.
Exactly, and a bit longer too, which will be good.
Okay, yeah. So we do apologise for not getting out on time, but a couple of phone calls, where are you?
Exactly right. We're right here, and we are up bringing you all of the action from the week, and starting with some pretty good signs once again for our junior interleague teams taking on the Bendigo Junior Football Netball League. Was it last week? Tell me.
Yeah, Saturday we head up to Strathfield Say.
Yep.
We only took our under-13s team because Bendigo actually doesn't have junior netball
of course,
with
they
their
don't.
football. But what they've done is establish a netball academy.
Mm-hmm.
So they've run two under-13 teams through under the guidance of Carol Cathcart, who is, for those of us who know, is Carol Byers, who is a ex-Australian coach under 21s and under 19s. So they've got some very good coaching going on
Exactly, and also
there.
the operations manager of the Bendigo Footy League. So
we had a great day up there. Under 13s girls came up, and it was a really competitive game. The Bendigo team was very tall.
Mm-hmm.
And we made some changes. Deb Hutchison made some changes and got every girl on, and we controlled the game for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of peaked and troughed where they would come back at us, and then we'd go out again. But it was a really, really great day. It was played in great spirit. Demi Thompson in defence had a really, really fantastic game. Very strong rebounder. You can see the basketballer in her. But she played really well with great transition up the court. And then we had Bridie Hutchinson, who's been in really, really great form this season, had another great game through the mid-court. And then also Talia Hurstfield and Abby Seagrave in goals also had great games. But all the girls, little Keely Smith, they all had fantastic games. We ended up coming away with the victory 48-35. So great lead-in for the under-13 girls who head down to the State Netball Hockey Centre this Sunday to play in the Association Champs, along with our all-conquering under 15
superstar under 15 team.
Yeah, to play the grand final of the academies. So, sorry, not of the academies, of the Association Champ winners. So, mightn't be as easy gig as what the last games were. They're coming up against some big girls out there, and the best in the state, really. But we're up there. We are the best in the Western region. So we'll have a bit of a crack, and hopefully we'll be bringing you some great results next week.
Let's hope so, because these junior netballers are the future of our league and of netball in the region, and they are going absolutely beautifully at the moment. They will be the ones that we'll be talking about on the Netball Show in future years, like we do with our next talking point, where we're talking about two of the informed teams of the competition, Lake Wendouree and East Point, and their match of the round game on the weekend, which was probably a little bit more one-sided than a lot of people would have thought.
Yeah, look, Lakers most probably hasn't been in the best form going into this game. Got knocked off by Sunbury, and they would have thought, this is a game we really need to win, and it was. However, I think East Point just really put their foot down this week and said, we're here to stay, we're finals contender, we're grand final contenders.
Yep.
They had an absolutely magnificent game. Went 8 goals in front at quarter time, and never looked back. Lost the second quarter by 1 goal, and then went on to win by 3 and 5 the next quarters, and had a really comfortable victory in the end. Kate McLeod in defence has been
killing it, is what I've heard.
Yeah, she's most probably been the difference that have put East Point into grand final favourites. As I said,
she is going that well that I've had people heard along the grapevine saying that because of her, it's East Point's to lose this year. She is that bit. She's taken them from where they were, which was a very, very good side, and just given them that extra step, and to take on the Jordan Bibbies and the girls like that.
Yeah, and I think if you look at their attack line, Emma Farrell and Lauren Dew have just been fantastic together. Emma has really taken Lauren under her wing,
She has.
Just really matured her as a player and guided her. Most probably what Lauren needed to play with someone like that. Although Emma's not shooting fantastically at 63%, 20 from 32, she's got Lauren out the front who's doing that for her,
exactly.
sitting at 34 from 40, so I think around 80% this week. And they just weren't able to stop her. the ball just couldn't get into the ring. I spoke to Kirsty Walsh today, and she just was in awe of the East Point team. And then they've got the linkage with Kate Martin and Loz Atkinson in wing attack, who were just bringing the ball down the court beautifully. Sasha Veldhouse didn't play; she hurt her quad. And what a player to be able to bring back on to the team when she's ready. So can bring her back on as an impact player, as fresh legs. So very, very good signs there for East Point.
Very good signs indeed. East Point looking very good indeed. Can't wait to see them take on North Ballarat City again this year. They've played once this year. It was a draw.
Is it last round? I think it could even be last round.
Could be. Just looking over the fixture at the moment. Just going through it very nicely. No, it's round 15. It's the round where we get a lot of teams that have got the week off with the bye. We've only got 3 games that week, and one of them is North City and East Point at Eureka Stadium. So mark that in. July 30th. Mark that in your diary now. That will be a ripping game. Third talking point for the week, as it is every week, our Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week. Kimmy, who are we sending out to Stockland with a $25 voucher this week?
Yeah, this week goes to a girl. They haven't won a hell of a lot of games, but there's been improvement right across the board, and that goes to Bacchus Marsh Ellie Simons,
who's been their standout all year. Well deserved. Yeah,
she's had a great season, new to the BFL, and has come in as a shooter. Had a really great game on the weekend. Shot 30 from 36 goals at 86%, and so Bacchus scored 38 goals, so she scored 30 of them. But this is the norm for Ellie. This is how she's been shooting all season. I had a look at her stats today, and most of them are in the 80% or higher 70s. Only a couple of games a bit lower where she's had, I think, against, might have been East or a couple of the bigger teams. But, to come out and do this and dominate under the ring has been fantastic, and it's a really well-deserved award. Yeah,
it certainly is. Well done to Ellie Simons, our Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week. $25 Stockland Wendouree voucher coming your way, Ellie, for next time you're in Ballarat. That will be great for a bit of a shopping spree, which won't be this week because Bacchus Marsh got the bye this week.
They're lucky. Nice and cold weather. It'd be great for them to be able to stay home in front of the fire.
Certainly will. Segues us beautifully into round 10 in the Ballarat Football Netball League this week. We're past the halfway mark of the season now, Kimmy, and we're on that downhill slope.
Yeah, getting ready for finals now. Just get all this interleague out the way, and then we'll start to get ready. So, it's a really exciting time of year. See how the fixture, how the ladder adjusts, and looking forward to it.
Will be indeed. Starting this week with Ballarat taking on North Ballarat City at the Alfredton Oval. Both winners last week, of course. Ballarat doing a good job on the Sunday against Melton and North City, nice and easily against Melton South. Could be a close one. Ballarat have run North Ballarat City in recent years, but you feel that North City would start favourites.
Yeah, for sure. And again, we keep saying Katie Lindquist now, who would have played really well on Jordan Biggie, but I don't think they've got anyone to stop her.
Whilst Abby Wiltshire, obviously our Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week last week, playing very well. She's very slight. Yes. And Jordan will be a lot stronger than her in the body.
And experience, and Jordan's still only young, but Abby's very young, and she'll be just most probably outsmart her a little bit. But that'll come for Abby. She'll get that experience. And down in the other end, Sarah Melton can most probably cover the height of Kelly Miranda as well. So you've got they can knock each other off. North can negate all of Ballarat's moves. So, Michaela George has been playing really well. Yeah,
that was the thing that stood out last week. I had a look at a bit of the game between Ballarat and Melton, and the fact that Melton didn't have a tall defender to go with Kelly. Yep. They were able just to lob in, and it was little Jess Bartlett that was trying to take her on, and there would have been 8 inches in height difference.
Yeah, so, what can you do? There's really not much you can do when you have such a tall goalie. You just really got to try and stop that feed coming in. There's nothing you can do.
No.
But as I said, Michaela George has been playing really well. She played wing defence last weekend, so she might line up against Stacey McCartan, and that'll be a really good content.
Two little speed bugs going at each other.
Yeah, it'd be great to watch. But I think North will be comfortable.
Yeah, North City for me as well. Interesting little game, this next one. Darley taking on Melton at Darley Park. Darley weren't bad from all reports against Sebastopol on the weekend. Really pushed them, where Melton were pretty good against Ballarat as well. Just trying to find that right area and get that good mid-court feed into Renee Hulls in the goals. And this will be a really interesting game, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so too. They're really evenly matched when you look at these two teams. Halsey been playing really well, and we know that Darley are a much improved team. I just think I'm going to go for Darley. I think they might get a win.
Yeah, from all reports, they were good against Sebastopol.
Yeah.
Again, I saw a little bit of this game on the weekend, and Darley really taking it up to them, but to Sebastopol, and yeah, I just feel that they can get this one at home.
Really, there's no rhyme or reason, but I'm going Darley.
Darley at Darley Park for mine as well. Melton South are taking on Lake Wendouree at the Melton Rec Reserve this week. Back into action last week, Melton South after a couple of weeks off, and tough week to come back into action, having to take on North City. And obviously Lake Wendouree, we've spoken about already, they'll be keen to stop this kind of 2-game losing streak they've got going on at the moment and come back down the highway with a win.
Yeah, they really need the victory, and it's most probably... it's going to be a really tough ask for Mountain South, but this is most probably a game that Lakers need to catch their breath and just say, we need to rebuild, resettle, and go from here, reset. Yep. Mel Allen won't be back until, I think, the end of July.
Yep.
So they're going to have to struggle through without her, without that height and the versatility that she creates either end of the court. But they've got a relatively better run the next few weeks, Lakers, which should see them recover. Mountain South just have to keep learning from the experience of coming up against these great teams. But, it was a hard gig for them last week. It really was. But, yeah, keep your chins up. And they're a young group. They'll keep improving. But, yeah, I think Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers for me as well. Speaking of interesting games, a very interesting one at the City Oval this weekend. Redan taking on Sebastopol. Redan just keep on keeping on at the moment. 6 wins in a row and absolutely flying. But they've got some availability concerns. And I think Sebastopol will be looking at this and saying, this is the right time to get Redan.
Who's that? Shawnee, you're telling the story?
Well, I know that Tasha Dack is heading after this home game, I think, this week. Obviously, the Sovereign's playing a home game, so she'll be available for some of the game. Jordan Lever in defence not playing. They've had Erin Riley filling in to help out.
Erin won't be playing.
Correct. And they've had some mid-court as well. I think Ruby Parry's away for a bit.
No, Ruby's still here. Ruby leaves to go overseas on Sunday. So
she will be there for Saturday unless she goes her last-minute packing. But, yeah, still a couple of issues there. But Sebastopol going okay at the moment.
Yeah, again, two teams that are really, really evenly matched. Sebastopol need to win this game. And so do Redan. They're both sitting in the 6.
Yep.
I think Sebastopol, sitting in the 6.
Yeah, they did get back in on it.
But, yeah, which way to go? This one. Adrian Can back in the team helped
Made a big difference,
Made a big difference. Whether they can... whether Emma Henry will stay in defence or attack, I'm not sure. Which way to go, Sean? You go first.
Sebas.
Redan.
There we go. Beautiful way to do it. And speaking of interesting games, Sunbury taking on East Point at the Clark Oval. Sunbury back in action this week after a bye last week, and we've spoken about East Point already. Can Sunbury get close in this one?
No, I don't think they can. They just haven't got the availability of the Rupo girls this week. Unless they bring in a tall goaler. We spoke about Kate McLeod as well.
Yep.
I don't know.
Rupert's Wood playing at Melton this week, so that makes it a bit difficult.
Yeah, they won't get back in time to play that game, and that's a big game for them as well. So I just don't think so. I know Sunbury's still working on trying to get another goaler. They've got a few...
irons in the fire.
Yeah, but they might be running out of time. I think East Point are just going to be too strong, and I might pop down and have a look at this game, but I think they'll be all over them. Yeah,
it's going to be hard to tip against East Point with the form they're in at the moment. So why try, Kimmy? I'm going the same way as you in this one. East Point for both of us. One different. That's okay.
Yep.
That's what we need. A little bit of separation, but it's going very nicely, Kim. Thanks for joining us. Another great netball show. Thank you for your time.
We kept it a bit shorter this week too.
We tried to anyway. Proof will be in the pudding when we come out with it. But thank you for watching us here on the BFNL Netball Show. It's been a pleasure bringing everything netball-wise in the Ballarat Football Netball League to you again this week. We'll see you again next week.